Okay, let's talk about the provisioning profile. I'm going to clear up some confusion. So there are problems with understanding the provisioning profile, right? Explaining a provisioning profile can be a difficult task because it is composed of multiple parts, and people need to be familiar with those parts before they can understand what it is. A provisioning profile contains information about the app's development team, the app's associated ID, and the devices on which the app can be installed. Additionally, it also contains cryptographic signature that is used to sign the app during the development and distribution process. Understanding how each of these parts work together to enable the app to be distributed either to the App Store or to a device or to a group of testers is crucial in understanding the concept of provisioning profile. Furthermore, people also need to understand that the app distribution process, which is a complex topic on its own, and how the provisioning profile plays its role within it. Without the proper understanding of both the provisioning profile and the app distribution process, it can be difficult to grasp the role of the provisioning profile and how it fits into the overall development and distribution process. Okay, so what is a provisioning profile? A provisioning profile is a file that contains information about the app's development team, the app's associated ID, and the devices on which the app can be installed. It also contains a cryptographic signature that is used to sign the app during the development and distribution process. Provisioning profiles are used to ensure that only authorized developers can install, test, and test apps on specific devices, and to ensure that only authorized apps can be installed on specific devices. There are two types of provisioning profiles: development provisioning profile and distribution provisioning profile. Development provisioning profiles are used to test and debug apps during the development process. They allow developers to install and test apps on specific devices that have been registered with the iOS developer program. They are created and managed in the iOS developer account and can be installed on a developer's device via Xcode. Distribution provisioning profiles are used to distribute apps to the App Store or to users via enterprise or ad hoc distribution. They are used to sign the app before it is submitted to the App Store. They also allow the app to be installed on specific devices that have been registered with the iOS developer program. They are created and managed in the iOS developer account and are included in the app's bundle when it is submitted to the App Store. Provisioning profiles are crucial in app development process as they are needed to sign and distribute the app, test it on a real device, and enable certain services such as push notifications and in-app purchases. So when do I create a provisioning profile versus when is it generated for me by the developer account? So when preparing an app for development, you create a provisioning profile, a development provisioning profile. The development provisioning profile is used to allow developers to install and test the app on specific devices that have been registered with the iOS developer program. They are created and managed in the iOS developer account and can be installed on the developer's device via Xcode. When an app is ready for distribution, whether it be to the App Store or to the users via enterprise or ad hoc distribution, a distribution provisioning profile is generally generated automatically. This profile is used to sign the app and make it ready for distribution. The distribution provisioning profile is created by the iOS system when you submit your app to the App Store or distribute it using Xcode. The developer does not need to create the profile manually. It's important to note that for both development and distribution, the provisioning profile needs to match the app's bundle ID, app ID, and devices on which the app can be installed. If the provisioning profile does not match the app's information, the app will not work properly on the devices or it will not be accepted to the App Store. Steps in creating the provisioning profile. So what we got to do is we have to log into the iOS developer account, go to certificates, identifiers, and profiles section. Go under the identifier section, create your app ID. You will need to provide that unique bundle ID, which is typically in the format of reverse domain name style search string, such as com.example.my.app. By the way, you can find this in your Xcode project, and I'll show you where. Under the provisioning profile section, create a new provisioning profile. You will need to select the app ID you created in step 3, the type of profile, and the development team. Select devices that you want to include in the provisioning profile. Download the provisioning profile from iOS developer account and install it on your developer device via Xcode. Once a profile is created, it needs to be installed on the developer device via Xcode in order for the app to be signed and tested on real devices during development, and also enable certain services such as push notifications and in-app purchases. It's important to know that these steps are general and the specific details for creating a provisioning profile may vary depending on the type of profile you are creating and the distribution method you are using. Okay, and that is it for now. That's the basics. Next, I will show you a practical example, step-by-step walkthrough in your developer account, creating a provisioning profile. So on to the next.